So June 2019, Unit 6, the question 4, the last question. This question is about the lab preparation of 3-methyl butyl ethanoate ester formation of ester. An ester used as a banana flavoring in foods. Ethanoic acid reacted with 3-methyl butane 1-ol result in a formation of ester plus water. The reaction is reversible. The ester can also hydrolyze to form alcohol and carboxylic acid. So the first step, what we did in step 1, we add 7.5 cm cube of the alcohol to 10 cm cube of ethanoic acid and 2 cm cube of concentrated sulfuric acid in a round bottom flask. Then add a few anti-bumping granules and heat the mixture under reflux. So purpose of anti-bumping granules to make a smooth boiling. Transfer the cool reaction mixture to a separating funnel, add 30 cm cube of distilled water and washing from the flask, shake and allow to separate and discard the aqueous layer. Then wash the organic layer with 15 cm cube of sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is the main purpose to remove any trace of acid and release the gas by release the buildup of the pressure, discard the aqueous layer and repeat until aqueous layer is slightly alkaline. Then transfer the organic layer to a boiling tube and dry with anhydrous magnesium sulfate, which is a drying agent. Then decant organic layer into a clean round bottom flask and distill. Collect the fractionating fraction boiling between 140 and 144 in a pre-weighed test tube. So the data is given, the molar masses are given, the density and their boiling points are given as well. The question is, state the purpose of concentrated sulfuric acid and anti-bumping granules added to a round bottom flask. So what is the reason why we are using anti-bumping granules and why we are using a concentrated sulfuric acid? So basically sulfuric acid is used for this reaction. Sulfuric acid is a catalyst. It catalyzes the reaction, help in dissociation and formation of the product. And what is the purpose of anti-bumping granule? So they are used for smooth boiling. So that is the catalyst to speed up the reaction. And this is for smooth boiling. Draw a label diagram of apparatus used to heat the reaction mixture under reflux in step 2. So we have a mixture in a round bottom flask. So basically you have to draw a reflux condenser, means the vertical position of a condenser. There is a jacket for the condenser. There is water inlet, there is water outlet, and the flask. The round bottom flask will be there. And the reaction mixture, and you're supplying a heat energy. This is water inlet and water outlet. Draw a diagram of a separating funnel in step 3. Clearly label the aqueous and organic layer. So the densities are given. Using a density you can identify that ethanoic acid and they have the same density. Methyl, the product is having a low density. So organic layer density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. So the water is having a high density. So water should be at the bottom and organic layer should be at the top. So you will draw a separating funnel. A tap is there at the bottom. And the two layers, one is the aqueous, the other one is organic. Give the reason why the organic layer is washed with sodium hydrogen carbonate solution, and suggest why the alkalinity of an aqueous layer should be how we can confirm that the solution is alkaline or turn into alkaline. So what is the reason for adding a sodium hydrogen carbonate? The purpose of sodium hydrogen carbonate is to neutralize the acid which we added in the beginning as a catalyst, to remove any trace of acid. Even ethanoic acid is also a reactant, so that also it will remove. And how we can test? We can use an indicator, or we can also use the pH meter to test whether it is alkaline or acidic. So the purpose of sodium hydrogen carbonate is to neutralize the acid. And how we can test? We can use indicator to check the presence of or make sure that the solution is alkaline. Explain why the distillate is not collected below 140 in step 6. So why we did not collect a distillate below 140? Because our main product is 3-methyl butyl ethanoate. So why we are collecting a distillate, or why we are not collecting a distillate with like bottom or below 140? Because otherwise what will happen, it may have alcohol as well. Some unreacted alcohol might be there. As you can see, for alcohol the boiling point is around 131. So if the distillate is collected at a temperature below 140, so maybe some of alcohol might also transfer to the container. A student prepared 4.75 gram of 3-methyl ethanoate starting with 7.5 cm cube of 3-methyl butanol excess of ethanoic acid. Calculate the percentage yield. So percentage yield is a practical value. So practically student is preparing this much. Multiply by divided by theoretical value into 100. So if we have 7.5 cm cube of alcohol, so what will be the mass? If 7.5 is cm cube, we know the density of alcohol that is given in the first part. So density is there for alcohol. Density is mass over volume. So mass is density multiplied by volume. So 0.81 multiplied by 7.5, that will give us the mass in gram. And this mass in gram divided by molar mass, so we'll get the moles. And after getting a moles, we'll check a ratio between them. The ratio of alcohol and ester is 1:1, so same moles will be there for ester, and multiply by molar mass, so we'll get the mass in gram according to theory, and practical value divided by theoretical value into 100. We'll get the percentage yield. This is a practical value. So using this practical value, we have 7.5. So 7.5 of alcohol multiplied by its density, which will give us 6.075 grams. But that then we'll get the moles. Moles equal mass in gram divided by molar mass, that is given in the question 88. So we'll get the moles 0.069 moles of alcohol will be there. And using a mole ratio, 1:1 is the ratio. So we'll get the same moles, and moles of aster multiplied by its molar mass, which is 130. Sorry, the molar mass, this is 0.069, and to get the mass in gram, 0.069 multiplied by the mass of the aster, which is, yeah, 130 here. So moles equal mass in gram over molar mass, but we need mass in gram, that is moles multiplied by molar mass, so which is 130. So that will give us the mass in gram. Then if you want to calculate the percentage yield, this will be 8.97. So percentage yield is a practical value. Practically we are getting only 4.75. Theoretically we are getting 8.97 into 100. So when we multiply, we'll get the percentage yield about 53%. And the last part, give the main reason why the yield is significantly less than 100. Do not consider error in the experimental procedure or the transfer. So what could be the reason? Because it's a reversible reaction. So if it's a reaction is reversible, it does not go in completion. Like you will always have some reactant. So reversible reaction, the product might decompose to reactant. That's why the yield is not 100%. So this was unit 6, total of 50 marks, and duration for the exam 1 hour and 15 minutes. Any question related to the class today? Next session I will discuss the weekly homework with you and do more past paper complete past paper from unit 2, unit 4 and unit 5 as well. So I'll end the session and share this with you.